Hello there and welcome to the Dreamy Science Channel. Tonight we're going on a gentle journey to the 7 wonders of the world, but not in the way you might expect. Let's begin. The Great Wall of China was built with rice. When you picture the Great Wall snaking across mountains and valleys, you might imagine it was constructed purely from stone and earth, but there's something wonderfully surprising about this ancient marvel. Much of the wall's mortar contains rice. Not just any rice, but a special sticky rice soup that was mixed with limestone to create an incredibly strong binding agent. This wasn't discovered until recently, when scientists began studying why sections of the wall had remained so remarkably intact after more than 1,000 years. The rice created a compound that was not only stronger than many modern materials, but also more flexible, allowing the wall to bend slightly with earthquakes and settling rather than crack and crumble. Imagine the ancient workers methodically mixing bowls of rice soup into their mortar, unknowingly creating one of the most durable building materials in history. There's something deeply peaceful about this image. The same grain that nourishes families around dinner tables became part of this monumental achievement, food and architecture joining together in perfect harmony. The wall stretches for over 13,000 miles, but it was never meant to be walked from end to end. Instead, it served as a series of connected fortifications, each section designed to protect specific regions. Guards would light signal fires to communicate across vast distances, creating a network of light that could carry messages faster than any horse could travel. Today, wild grass and small flowers grow between the ancient stones. Butterflies rest on sections where soldiers once stood watch. The wall has become a garden in many places. Reclaimed gently by nature, moss softens the harsh lines of the battlements, and small trees grow from cracks that have widened over centuries. This transformation from a barrier of war into a pathway of peace seems almost miraculous. What was once built to keep people apart now draws them together from every corner of the globe. Visitors walk quietly along its length, speaking in hushed tones, instinctively understanding that they're treading on something sacred. The acoustics of the wall are particularly special. Because of its construction and the way it curves through the landscape, sounds carry in unexpected ways. A whisper in one watchtower can sometimes be heard clearly in another tower hundreds of feet away. Local guides often demonstrate this phenomenon, speaking softly into the ancient stones and watching visitors smile in wonder as the voice emerges from seemingly empty air. Petra was carved from living rock with infinite patience. In the rose-colored cliffs of Jordan stands Petra, a city that wasn't built so much as it was revealed. The Nabateans, master craftsmen of the ancient world, spent generations slowly carving their capital directly from the sandstone mountains. The most famous structure, the treasury, appears suddenly as you walk through a narrow canyon called the Psyche. But what makes this moment truly magical isn't just the building's grandeur. It's the way the morning light strikes the pink stone, making the entire facade glow as if lit from within. The color changes throughout the day, shifting from deep rose at dawn to golden honey at sunset. The Nabateans understood something profound about working with stone rather than against it. They followed the natural grain of the rock, allowing the stone itself to guide their chisels. This patience created buildings that seemed to grow organically from the cliffs, as if they had always been there, waiting to be discovered. Water was sacred in this desert city, and the engineers created an intricate system of channels and cisterns carved directly into the rock. These waterways were so well designed that they still function today, nearly 2,000 years later. Rainwater flows through hidden channels, collecting in underground chambers that stay cool even in the blazing desert heat. Walking through Petra today feels like entering a library written in stone. Every surface tells a story, carved with symbols and patterns that speak of daily life, religious ceremonies, and the simple human desire to create beauty. The tombs aren't morbid places but celebrations of life, decorated with flowers, vines, and dancing figures that seem to move in the shifting light. The silence in Petra is profound. Sandstone absorbs sound, creating a natural quiet that makes every footstep feel significant. Visitors often find themselves whispering without realizing why the stone seems to demand reverence, not through intimidation, but through its gentle embrace of silence. Even the shadows in Petra are beautiful. The deep canyon walls create patterns of light and darkness that change by the minute. Photographers often spend entire days in single spots, watching the interplay of sun and stone create new compositions. With each passing hour, Christ the Redeemer watches over Rio with arms forever open. High above the bustling city of Rio de Janeiro, atop Corcovado Mountain, stands one of the world's most recognizable symbols of peace. Christ the Redeemer stretches his arms wide in an eternal gesture of welcome and protection. The statue was built not through conflict or conquest, but through community. People from all walks of life contributed to its construction. Children donated their pocket money, families gave their savings, and entire neighborhoods organized fundraising events. The statue literally rose from the collective love and hope of a city. The material used to create this gentle giant is soapstone, chosen specifically for its soft appearance and durability. Unlike harsh marble or cold metal, soapstone has a warm, almost organic quality that makes the statue appear more human, more approachable. In certain lights, especially during the golden hours of dawn and dusk, the stone seems to glow with an inner warmth. The view from the base of the statue is breathtaking, but what many visitors don't expect is the profound sense of calm that settles over them when they reach the top. There's something about standing in the shadow of those outstretched arms that makes worries seem smaller and perspectives shift. The city spreads out below like a living map, but the chaos and noise fade into something more like a gentle rhythm. The statue faces east, greeting each sunrise with the same patient serenity it has maintained since 1931. Weather passes around it. Storms rage and clear. Seasons change. But Christ the Redeemer remains constant. Birds nest in the folds of the robes. And occasionally, butterflies rest on the outstretched hands. The engineering required to build the statue was remarkable. But what's most impressive is how the builders managed to create something so massive that feels so gentle. Every line was designed to suggest peace rather than power, welcome rather than intimidation. The face, carved with infinite care, bears an expression of such serene kindness that visitors often find themselves smiling back without realizing it. At night, The statue is illuminated from below, creating a beacon of light visible throughout the city. But the lighting is soft, warm, never harsh or glaring. It serves as a nightlight for an entire metropolis, a gentle reminder that some things endure, some things remain constant, some things watch over us while we sleep. Machu Picchu exists in perfect harmony with the mountains. Hidden high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, Machu Picchu represents perhaps humanity's greatest achievement in building with nature rather than against it. The Inca constructed this mountain sanctuary with such respect for the landscape that it seems to have grown naturally from the peaks themselves. The stones used in construction were shaped to fit together with incredible precision, but no mortar was used. Instead, each block was carved to nestle perfectly against its neighbors, creating walls that flex and move with the mountain during earthquakes. This flexibility has allowed the structures to survive centuries of seismic activity that would have destroyed more rigid buildings. The Inca believed that large stones had spirits, and they treated each one with reverence during construction. Workers would study a stone for days before deciding how to shape it, looking for its natural inclinations and working with rather than against its inherent structure. This patience created buildings that seemed to breathe with the mountain itself. Water flows throughout Machu Picchu in a series of fountains and channels that still function perfectly after 500 years. The sound of moving water is constant but never overwhelming, creating a natural soundtrack that masks any harsh noises and adds to the site's profound tranquility. The terraces that cascade down the mountainside weren't just functional, they were beautiful. Even today, wildflowers grow between the ancient stones, creating gardens that bloom in different seasons. Orchids appear in hidden corners, and hummingbirds dart between the ruins, adding splashes of brilliant color to the gray stone. The site was abandoned so gradually and peacefully that it remained virtually intact when it was rediscovered. There are no signs of violence or hasty departure, just the gentle reclaiming by jungle and time. Vines had wrapped around doorways, and trees had grown through courtyards, but the structures remained sound, as if the city had simply gone to sleep. The Colosseum in Rome has become a sanctuary for plants and peace. While the Colosseum is famous for its gladiatorial contests, today it tells a very different story. Over the centuries since the last games ended, this ancient arena has transformed into something unexpected and wonderful. It has become home to one of Europe's most diverse botanical gardens. More than 400 species of plants now grow within the Colosseum's walls. Seeds arrived on the wind, in the fur of animals, on the shoes of visitors, and in countless other ways. What was once a place of spectacle has become a quiet ecosystem where flowers bloom in the spaces between ancient stones. The thick walls of the Colosseum create numerous microclimates. Some areas remain cool and moist, perfect for ferns and mosses. Other sections bask in full sunlight, nurturing Mediterranean herbs and wildflowers. This diversity means that something is always blooming, creating a constantly changing tapestry of color and texture. Cats have made the Colosseum their home for generations. These aren't stray animals, but beloved residents cared for by local volunteers. Visitors often encounter them sleeping peacefully in sunny spots or watching the world with the patient dignity that only cats possess. Their presence adds a layer of domestic tranquility to this monument of history. The acoustics that once carried the roar of crowds now carry gentler sounds. Birdsong echoes through the arches. The rustle of leaves whispers through the corridors, and the soft conversations of visitors create a murmur that's almost musical. The same architectural features that amplified ancient drama now amplify nature's quiet symphony. Restoration work on the Colosseum is conducted with extraordinary care and patience. Craftsmen use traditional techniques and materials, working slowly to preserve every detail. Watching these artisans work is like witnessing a meditation in stone, each careful movement guided by respect for the past and hope for the future. Chichen Itza celebrates the gentle rhythm of time and seasons. In the jungles of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula stands Chichen Itza, where the ancient Maya created buildings that dance with light and shadow throughout the year. The most famous structure, the pyramid known as El Castillo, serves as a massive calendar carved in stone. Twice each year, during the spring and autumn equinoxes, the setting sun creates shadows on the pyramid's north staircase that appear to show a serpent descending from the heavens to earth. This phenomenon draws thousands of visitors. But what's most remarkable isn't the spectacle itself, but the patience required to create it. The Maya architects had to understand not just construction and mathematics, but astronomy, physics, and the subtle movement of light across seasons. They planned for an effect that would occur only twice each year, designing a building that would create magic for people they would never meet, centuries in the future. The ball court at Chichen Itza demonstrates acoustic engineering that still amazes scientists today. A whisper at one end can be heard clearly at the other end, 96 meters away. But loud sounds like clapping create multiple echoes that sound remarkably like the call of the Quetzal bird. Sacred to the Maya, every architectural choice served both practical and spiritual purposes. The cenote, or natural well, near the pyramid, provided fresh water in a landscape where surface water was scarce, but the Maya also considered it a gateway to the underworld, a place where earth and water and sky came together. Today, visitors can still see the clear blue water far below, reflecting clouds and sky like a mirror set into the earth. The jungle has partially reclaimed Chichen Itza, but gently. Tall trees provide shade for the ancient stones, and their roots intertwine with Maya foundations without destroying them. Iguanas bask on sun-warmed steps, and tropical birds nest in the carved decorations. The site feels alive. Not like a museum, but like a place where past and present coexist peacefully. The Taj Mahal changes color with your emotions. In Agra, India, stands perhaps the most romantic building ever created, the Taj Mahal. Built as a tomb for Mumtaz Mahal by her heartbroken husband, Emperor Shah Jahan, it represents love made manifest in marble and moonlight. The white marble used in construction has a unique quality. It appears to change color depending on the light, the weather, and even the mood of the observer. At dawn, it glows with a soft pink warmth. During the day, it shines brilliant white against the blue sky. At sunset, it takes on golden hues, and under the full moon, it seems to glow with its own ethereal light. This color-changing quality isn't accidental. The marble contains trace minerals that reflect different wavelengths of light depending on conditions. The architects knew this when they selected the stone, choosing material that would make the building feel alive, responsive, almost breathing. The gardens surrounding the Taj Mahal were designed as a representation of paradise. Cypress trees line the pathways, their dark green providing perfect contrast to the white marble water channels reflect the building, creating the illusion that the Taj Mahal floats on liquid mirror. The sound of fountains provides a constant, gentle soundtrack that masks the noise of the outside world. The interior of the mausoleum is surprisingly intimate and peaceful. Light filters through marble screens carved so delicately, they seem like lace made of stone. The acoustics create a natural reverence, making every sound soft and contemplative. Visitors instinctively speak in whispers, moved by the palpable sense of devotion that still fills the space. The Taj Mahal was built by craftsmen from across the known world, each bringing their finest skills to create something unprecedented. Persian architects, Indian stonemasons, Turkish dome builders, and French garden designers all contributed their expertise. The building represents not just one man's love for his wife, but humanity's collective ability to create beauty from grief. Today, conservation efforts focus not just on preserving the structure, but on maintaining its ability to inspire wonder. The same gentle cleaning techniques used for centuries continue today, ensuring that each sunrise and sunset will continue to transform the marble into something magical. The Taj Mahal remains what it was always meant to be, a place where love transcends time, where beauty offers comfort, and where the human heart finds peace. The craftspeople who built the Taj Mahal worked with a patience that borders on the spiritual. Each piece of inlay work, each delicate carving, was completed by hand with tools that hadn't changed for centuries. Master artisans would spend months on a single decorative panel, creating floral patterns so intricate they seemed to grow from the marble itself. The symmetry of the Taj Mahal extends beyond what the eye can see. Every element has a perfect counterpart, creating balance that speaks to something deep in the human psyche. But this symmetry isn't rigid or mathematical. It's organic, like the symmetry found in flower petals or butterfly wings. Beautiful because it mirrors the patterns that nature uses to create harmony. The minarets that surround the main dome lean slightly outward, a detail so subtle that most visitors never notice it. This wasn't a mistake, but a deliberate choice by the architects. If the towers were perfectly vertical, they would appear to lean inward due to an optical illusion. By angling them slightly away from the building, they create the appearance of perfect verticality, showing how the builders understood not just engineering, but human perception. At certain times of day, when the light is just right, you can see through the marble screens to glimpse the actual tomb inside. But these moments are fleeting, like catching sight of something sacred that's not meant for everyday viewing. The screens filter both light and vision, creating privacy even in this most public of monuments. The reflection pool that leads to the Taj Mahal creates one of the world's most perfect mirror images, but here's what's remarkable. The reflection often appears more vivid than the building itself. Visitors frequently find themselves staring at the upside-down Taj Mahal in the water. mesmerized by how the ripples make the marble appear to dance and flow like fabric in a gentle breeze. The entire complex was designed to be discovered gradually. You don't see the Taj Mahal immediately upon entering. Instead, you pass through a series of gardens and courtyards, each one building anticipation, each view offering a slightly different perspective. It's architecture as storytelling, leading you through a narrative of love, loss, and remembrance. Even the approach to each wonder tells its own peaceful story. The Great Wall reveals itself slowly as you climb mountain paths, appearing and disappearing around bends like a gentle giant playing hide-and-seek with visitors. The path to Petra winds through narrow canyons where the walls almost touch overhead, creating a sense of intimacy and mystery that makes the final revelation even more breathtaking. Christ the Redeemer can be reached by a small train that climbs through the Tijuca forest, one of the world's largest urban forests. The journey itself becomes a meditation as the city noise fades and gives way to bird songs and the whisper of wind through leaves. By the time you reach the statue, you're already in a different state of mind, prepared for the tranquility that awaits. The train to Machu Picchu follows the Urubamba River through the sacred valley, where ancient terraces still grow crops using irrigation systems perfected centuries ago. Local farmers wave from their fields, children run alongside the tracks, and llamas graze peacefully on slopes that seem to stretch toward the sky itself. Each of these journeys reminds us that the wonders weren't built in isolation. They exist within landscapes, cultures, and communities that have nurtured and protected them through centuries of change. The local people who live near these sites often speak of them not as tourist attractions, but as neighbors, as presences that have quietly witnessed generations of births, marriages, celebrations, and farewells. The sounds associated with each wonder create their own peaceful symphonies. At the Great Wall, wind whistles through watchtowers and rustles the grass that grows between ancient stones. In Petra, the silence is so complete, you can hear your own heartbeat, broken occasionally by the distant call of desert birds or the soft footsteps of other visitors moving respectfully through the carved chambers. At Christ the Redeemer, the mountain wind carries the faint sounds of Rio far below, but they arrive softened and gentle, like a lullaby sung from a great distance. The statue itself seems to breathe with the wind, and visitors often report feeling a sense of being held, protected, wrapped in an invisible embrace of peace. Machu Picchu fills with the sound of water constantly moving through ancient channels, mixed with the calls of spectacled bears that still roam the cloud forests and the whispered conversations of visitors who instinctively lower their voices in this sacred space. The altitude itself seems to slow everything down, making each breath deliberate, each step considered. The Colosseum's acoustics now carry the rustle of plants growing in every crevice, the soft conversations of visitors, and the occasional meow of the resident cats. Thunder rumbles differently within those ancient walls, softened and deepened, as if the stone remembers the sound of distant applause and has learned to gentle all noise into something more contemplative. At Chichen Itza, the jungle provides a constant backdrop of sound, insects and birds, creating layers of natural music that rise and fall like breathing. The cenote adds the faint echo of water dripping into depths that seem to connect to the center of the earth itself. Every sound feels both ancient and eternal. The Taj Mahal creates its own acoustic environment, where every whisper becomes significant, every footstep purposeful. The fountain sounds blend with the calls of peacocks in the gardens and the distant prayers from nearby mosques, creating an audio tapestry that seems designed to slow time itself. These wonders share something beyond their fame or their beauty. They all possess what architects call human scale, proportions that feel comfortable rather than overwhelming. Even the largest structures include details that speak to individual human experience. Small spaces where a single person can sit quietly and feel at peace rather than diminished. The Great Wall includes small alcoves and watchtowers where guards once took shelter from storms. Today, visitors use these same spaces to rest and contemplate the view, feeling connected across centuries to others who stood in exactly the same spot, looking out at exactly the same mountains. Petra contains intimate chambers carved for families, with niches for oil lamps and spaces clearly designed for children. The grand facades hide countless smaller spaces that speak of daily life, of people who called this rose-red city home and filled it with the ordinary sounds of cooking, conversation, and laughter. Christ the Redeemer's base includes a small chapel where people still come to pray, light candles, and leave quiet offerings of gratitude. The space feels protective rather than imposing, a place where the monumental scale of the statue translates into personal comfort. Machu Picchu preserves living quarters, workshops, and storage areas that reveal the rhythms of daily life. You can still see the stones where people ground corn, the channels where they carried water, the terraces where they grew food. The site feels inhabited even in its abandonment, as if the residents simply stepped away and might return at any moment. The Colosseum's upper levels contain spaces that were once reserved for different social classes. But time has democratized the structure. Now plants grow equally in the Emperor's Box and the common seating areas, and cats sleep wherever they find the warmest stone, regardless of ancient hierarchies. Chichen Itza includes residential areas, markets, and workshops scattered throughout the jungle, connected by white stone roads that still guide visitors from one peaceful plaza to another. The site feels like a city that grew organically rather than being planned, with human-sized spaces nestled between monumental architecture. The Taj Mahal complex includes living quarters for the caretakers, gardens designed for contemplation, and viewing areas positioned to frame the main building perfectly from different angles. Every space acknowledges that people need places to rest, reflect, and simply be present with beauty. What makes these places truly wonderful isn't their size or their age, but their ability to make visitors feel simultaneously small and significant. Small in the face of such achievement and endurance, but significant as part of the continuing human story that these places represent and preserve. They remind us that our ancestors possessed not just skill and ambition, but wisdom about what truly matters. They built for beauty as much as function, for harmony as much as strength, for peace as much as protection. They understood that monuments should serve the human spirit as well as human needs. Standing before any of these wonders, watching the light change on ancient stones, hearing the wind carry sounds that have echoed for centuries. You become part of something larger than yourself, while remaining completely, peacefully, uniquely you. The stories these wonders tell extend far beyond their construction dates and architectural statistics. Each one whispers of human dreams made manifest in stone, marble, and earth. They speak of civilizations that understood something we're still learning, that the most lasting achievements are those that serve not just practical needs, but the deeper hunger of the human soul for beauty, meaning, and connection. The Great Wall continues to reveal secrets with each passing season. Archaeologists working along its length move with the same patient precision as the original builders, uncovering layers of history with brushes and small tools, rather than heavy machinery. They've discovered that different sections were built using local materials and techniques, making each stretch unique. Some areas incorporated volcanic rock that creates natural drainage. Others used compressed earth that has become harder than concrete over time. The wall's relationship with the landscape changes dramatically throughout the seasons. In spring, cherry blossoms bloom along certain sections, creating a pink and white corridor that transforms the ancient fortification into a garden path. Summer brings morning mists that cling to the valleys, making the wall appear to float above the clouds. Autumn paints the surrounding forests in shades of gold and crimson, while winter snow softens every harsh line and creates a pristine silence that makes footsteps sound like whispered prayers. Local residents who live near the wall often speak of it as a living presence. Farmers whose families have tended the same plots for generations describe how the wall creates its own weather patterns, how certain sections always catch the first light of dawn, how the stones seem to hold warmth long after sunset. Children play games of hide-and-seek among its watchtowers, and elderly people come to walk along its restored sections for exercise, treating it not as a monument, but as a neighborhood gathering place. The wall has become a canvas for nature's artistry. Lichens paint abstract patterns on the ancient stones in shades of green and gold. Small wildflowers find purchase in cracks between blocks, creating vertical gardens that change with the seasons. Birds build nests in the crevices, and their songs echo off the stone surfaces, creating natural amphitheaters where morning concerts unfold for anyone patient enough to listen. Even the restoration work on the Great Wall follows principles of tranquility and respect. Workers begin each day at sunrise, when the light is soft and the tourist crowds haven't yet arrived. They work in small teams, often in complete silence, understanding that they're not just repairing a structure, but maintaining a sacred trust. The tools they use are often the same designs that builders employed centuries ago, creating a continuity of craft that spans generations. Petra reveals different faces depending on the time of year and the angle of approach. The narrow canyon entrance, the Saiku, acts as a natural cooling system that makes even summer visits comfortable. The walls rise so high on either side that they create their own microclimate, with temperatures often 10 degrees cooler than the surrounding desert. Water still seeps through the rock in places, creating small oases of green moss and tiny flowers that seem impossibly delicate in this harsh environment. The treasury's facade changes throughout the day as shadows move across its carved surface, Early morning visitors see different details than those who arrive at sunset, as if the building deliberately reveals its secrets gradually. The interplay of light and shadow brings the carved figures to life, making them appear to move and dance as clouds pass overhead. The acoustic properties of Petra create unexpected moments of connection. Conversations from one carved chamber can sometimes be heard in another, separated by hundreds of yards of solid rock. This phenomenon has led to countless stories of visitors hearing whispered conversations that seem to come from the past. Voices carried on air currents through channels carved by ancient engineers who understood secrets of sound that we're still discovering. The Nabateans' water management system continues to function after 2 millennia, a testament to engineering that prioritized sustainability over speed. The channels carved into cliff faces still direct rainwater into underground cisterns, where it stays cool and clean. Modern engineers study these systems, trying to understand how such simple technology could be so effective and durable. The colors of Petra's sandstone create a natural therapy for visitors. The rose and gold hues have a documented calming effect on human psychology, similar to the colors used in meditation spaces and healing centers. Photographers often find that no filter can capture the true warmth of the stone, which seems to emit its own soft light even in shadows. Christ the Redeemer continues to inspire acts of quiet devotion that have nothing to do with religious affiliation. Artists come to sketch in its shadow, finding that the statue's presence somehow improves their work. Musicians report that compositions written while looking out from Corcovado Mountain have a different quality, as if the expansive view and the statue's peaceful presence influence the creative process itself. The engineering marvel of building the statue in sections, then transporting them up the mountain and assembling them at the top, required a level of coordination that brought together people from across Brazil and beyond. Each piece had to be perfect, because there was no room for error at that altitude. Workers developed a rhythm of collaboration that transcended language barriers, communicating through gestures and shared dedication to the project. The statue's outstretched arms have become a symbol not just of religious faith, but of universal welcome. Pilots flying into Rio report that seeing the statue tells them they're home. Regardless of their personal beliefs, the arms seem to embrace not just the city, but everyone who looks up at them, creating a sense of belonging that visitors carry with them long after they've returned to their daily lives. The morning light that strikes the statue first each day creates a daily ritual observed by early risers throughout Rio. The moment when the first rays illuminate the figure's face has become a meditation for many residents, a daily reminder that some things endure, some things remain constant in a world of change. Maintenance of the statue requires technicians to work in harnesses suspended from those famous outstretched arms. These workers often describe the experience as profoundly peaceful despite the physical challenges. Suspended high above the city, surrounded by sky and silence, they report feeling not fear, but a deep sense of purpose and connection to something larger than themselves. Machu Picchu's terraces continue to function as their builders intended, demonstrating agricultural techniques that modern permaculture experts study and attempt to replicate. The ancient farmers understood that different crops required different altitudes and orientations, creating microclimates within their mountain sanctuary. Some terraces caught morning sun, while others remained shaded until afternoon, allowing for a diversity of growing conditions that maximized both yield and sustainability. The llamas that now graze peacefully among the ruins serve as living lawn mowers, keeping the grass at exactly the right height to preserve the stone structures while maintaining the site's pastoral beauty. Their presence adds a gentle domesticity to the ancient city, and visitors often find that watching these serene animals going about their daily routines creates a meditative state that enhances the entire experience. The cloud forest that surrounds Machu Picchu is home to orchids that bloom in different seasons, creating a constantly changing floral display. More than 300 species of orchids have been cataloged in the area, some so rare they were thought extinct until rediscovered growing in the shadows of Inca walls. The humidity created by the cloud cover provides perfect growing conditions for these delicate flowers. The astronomical alignments built into Machu Picchu's architecture continue to function with clockwork precision. The Intihuatana stone, carved to track the sun's movement throughout the year, still serves as an accurate calendar. At the winter solstice, the sun sits directly above the pillar at noon, casting no shadow. This phenomenon draws contemporary astronomers and ancient wisdom seekers alike, all marveling at the precision achieved without modern instruments. The silence at Machu Picchu has a quality found nowhere else on Earth. The altitude, the mountain setting, and the acoustic properties of the stone structures combine to create a natural quiet that seems to slow time itself. Visitors often report losing track of hours while simply sitting and listening to this profound stillness, broken only by the distant call of condors riding thermal currents far above. The Colosseum's transformation into an inadvertent botanical garden represents one of nature's most beautiful collaborations with human architecture. The plants that have taken root in the ancient structure don't damage it, but actually help preserve it, their roots helping to hold loose stones in place, while their leaves provide shade that prevents rapid temperature changes that could crack the masonry. The cats of the Colosseum have developed their own social structure that mirrors the ancient hierarchies once played out in the arena below. Older cats claim the prime sunny spots in the upper tiers, while younger ones explore the shadowy corridors below. Local volunteers who feed them report that the cats seem to understand the historical significance of their home, displaying a dignity and grace that visitors find both amusing and oddly appropriate. The restoration work ongoing at the Colosseum employs techniques that would be familiar to the original builders. Stonemasons still shape replacement blocks by hand, using traditional tools and methods. The sound of chisel on stone rings through the ancient corridors, just as it did 2,000 years ago, creating an acoustic continuity that connects past and present through the simple rhythm of skilled craftwork. Evening visits to the Colosseum reveal the structure's most peaceful aspects. As the crowds thin and the harsh daylight softens, the arena fills with golden light that makes the travertine stones glow warmly. The plants release their gentle fragrances. The cats emerge for their evening activities, and the whole structure seems to exhale the heat and energy of the day, settling into a tranquil evening rhythm. The underground areas of the Colosseum, once used to house gladiators and wild animals, now provide cool refuges where visitors can rest and contemplate these spaces. No longer associated with conflict and spectacle, have become quiet galleries where the interplay of ancient architecture and natural reclamation creates an almost cathedral-like atmosphere of peace and reflection. Chichen Itza's cenote continues to provide fresh water in a landscape where such resources are precious. The Maya considered cenotes sacred, viewing them as portals to the underworld and sources of spiritual as well as physical sustenance. Modern visitors often report feeling a profound sense of peace when looking down into the clear blue depths, as if the water itself holds memories of countless ceremonies and prayers. The pyramid's shadow serpent phenomenon demonstrates the Mayas' sophisticated understanding of astronomy and human psychology. They knew that witnessing celestial events creates a sense of connection to cosmic rhythms that transcends daily concerns. Modern visitors who experience the equinox shadow display often describe it as deeply moving, a reminder that humans have always looked to the sky for meaning and guidance. The ball court's acoustic properties create what amounts to a natural sound healing environment. The specific frequencies that resonate within the space have been shown to have calming effects on the human nervous system. Players of the ancient ball game may have experienced not just physical competition, but acoustic therapy. The sound of the rubber ball creating rhythms that synchronized with heartbeats and breathing patterns. The jungle setting of Chichen Itza provides constant reminders of the relationship between human achievement and natural forces. Howler monkeys call from the canopy at dawn and dusk, their voices carrying for miles through the forest. Butterflies, including species that were considered sacred by the Maya, still flutter among the carved stone flowers and geometric patterns that decorate the buildings. The astronomical observatory at Chichen Itza, known as El Caracol, demonstrates the Mayas' patient dedication to understanding celestial cycles. The building's windows align with the positions of Venus at its extreme points, allowing priest astronomers to track the planet's movements with remarkable accuracy. This knowledge wasn't just academic, but practical, helping to determine the best times for planting, harvesting, and conducting ceremonies. The Taj Mahal's marble screens filter light in ways that create natural mood regulation for visitors. The patterns carved into the stone allow different amounts of light to enter at different times of day, creating an interior environment that subtly shifts from energizing morning brightness to contemplative evening dimness. The builders understood that human emotional states respond to light quality, and they crafted an environment that naturally encourages peaceful reflection. The garden's cypress trees were chosen not just for their beauty, but for their longevity and their ability to remain green year-round. These trees, some of which are original plantings from the 17th century, provide a living link to the Taj Mahal's creation. Their dark green foliage creates a perfect backdrop for the white marble, while their tall, slender forms echo the vertical lines of the minarets. The water features throughout the Taj Mahal complex serve multiple purposes beyond their obvious beauty. The channels and fountains create negative ions in the air, which have been shown to improve mood and reduce stress. The sound of moving water masks harsh noises from outside the complex, while creating a natural white noise that promotes relaxation and contemplation. The inlay work that decorates the Taj Mahal includes floral patterns that represent both earthly gardens and paradise as described in Islamic tradition. The flowers depicted include roses, lilies, and poppies, all carved and inlaid with such precision that they seem to have natural shadows and depth these patterns never repeat exactly, ensuring that each panel offers new details for contemplative observation. The changing colors of the Taj Mahal's marble throughout the day have been documented by photographers and artists for centuries, each trying to capture the subtle shifts that make the building seem alive. The marble contains mica and other minerals that reflect light differently depending on the angle of observation, creating an effect that changes not just with time of day, but with the viewer's position and movement. The changing colors serve a purpose beyond mere beauty. They create what psychologists call temporal anchoring, helping visitors exist fully in each moment rather than rushing through the experience. When the marble appears pink at dawn, it encourages quiet contemplation of new beginnings. The brilliant white of midday inspires clarity and focus. The golden hues of sunset naturally slow the pace, inviting reflection on the day's experiences. The acoustics within the main chamber create what amounts to a natural meditation environment. Whispers become musical, echoing softly off the curved dome overhead. The sound never becomes harsh or overwhelming, but instead wraps around visitors like an audible embrace. Many people find themselves unconsciously matching their breathing to the rhythm of these gentle echoes. The Taj Mahal's reflection pool serves as more than a mirror. The water's surface creates a second version of the building that often appears more vivid and dreamlike than the original. This inverted image seems to exist in a different realm, one where the laws of physics bend to create pure beauty. Children often spend entire visits staring at this upside-down palace, fascinated by how the ripples make the marble appear to dance. What connects all seven wonders isn't just their fame or their age, but their ability to slow time. Each one creates what researchers call a temporal sanctuary, a space where the usual rush of modern life naturally gives way to a more contemplative pace. The stones themselves seem to remember older rhythms, times when builders worked by the seasons rather than deadlines, when craftsmen measured progress in years rather than hours. These wonders share another quality that's become increasingly rare in our modern world. They were all built to last, not just physically, but emotionally. The architects and builders understood that true monuments must serve not just practical purposes, but spiritual ones. They need to feed the part of the human soul that hungers for beauty, meaning, and connection to something larger than daily concerns. The preservation efforts at each site follow principles that honor both historical accuracy and natural evolution. Conservators work with the understanding that these places were never meant to be frozen in time, but to age gracefully, accumulating layers of meaning and beauty as generations pass. The goal isn't to make them look newly built, but to ensure they can continue their slow conversation with time and weather and human hearts. Each wonder has developed its own community of guardians, people who've dedicated their lives to understanding and protecting these places. These aren't just security guards or tour guides, but individuals who've fallen in love with their assigned wonder and spend their days learning its secrets, observing its daily rhythms, and sharing their knowledge with visitors who arrive seeking more than just photographs. The local craftsmen who maintain these sites often come from families who've been involved with the monuments for generations. They possess knowledge that can't be learned from books or blueprints, but must be passed down through hands-on experience. The sound a particular type of stone makes when struck correctly. The way morning light reveals cracks that need attention. The seasonal patterns that determine when certain types of maintenance should be performed. These craftsmen work with the same tools and techniques used by the original builders, not out of stubbornness or tradition for its own sake, but because centuries of experience have proven these methods most effective. Modern technology assists their work, but doesn't replace the fundamental understanding that comes from generations of careful observation and patient practice. Visitors to these wonders often report experiencing what psychologists call the overview effect, a cognitive shift that occurs when people gain a broader perspective on life and their place in it. Standing before achievements that have endured for centuries naturally puts daily worries into perspective and reminds us that we're part of a much larger human story. The wonder experience typically unfolds in stages that follow predictable patterns. First comes excitement and anticipation as the famous structure comes into view. Then follows a period of intense observation as visitors try to take in all the details they've seen in photographs and documentaries. But the most profound stage comes later, often unexpectedly, when the excitement settles and a deeper sense of peace takes hold. This peaceful stage is when the real magic happens. It's when visitors stop trying to capture everything with cameras and start simply being present with the wonder itself. They find comfortable spots to sit and let the place speak to them without the interference of guidebooks or tour schedules. They begin to notice things that don't appear in any photograph. The quality of light at different times of day, the way sounds carry in the space, the feeling of ancient stones warmed by sun. Many visitors describe this stage as feeling like a conversation with the past, as if the builders and craftsmen who created these places are still present in some way, sharing their dedication to beauty and their understanding of what makes human hearts soar. It's a conversation conducted not in words, but in the language of proportion, harmony, and grace. The wonders also serve as natural gathering places where people from completely different backgrounds find themselves sharing experiences. Language barriers dissolve when everyone is looking at the same breathtaking view or listening to the same profound silence. Strangers smile at each other, parents lift children for better views, and elderly visitors share benches with young travelers, all united by wonder. These shared moments create temporary communities bound together by appreciation for human achievement and natural beauty. Visitors often report making unexpected connections with other travelers, friendships that begin with a simple shared gasp of amazement and continue long after everyone has returned to their separate lives. The seven wonders demonstrate that certain proportions and relationships naturally appeal to human perception and psychology. The mathematical principles underlying their design, concepts like the golden ratio and harmonic proportions, create structures that feel inherently balanced and peaceful. Our brains seem hardwired to respond positively to these relationships, experiencing them as beautiful even when we can't consciously identify what makes them so appealing. This explains why these ancient structures continue to move modern visitors despite vast differences in cultural background and historical context. The builders tapped into something universal in human nature, preferences and responses that transcend time and culture. They created not just impressive buildings, but environments that speak directly to fundamental aspects of human psychology and emotion. The approach to each wonder has been carefully preserved or restored to enhance the experience of discovery. The path to the Great Wall winds through landscapes that gradually reveal the structure's magnitude. The narrow canyon leading to Petra builds suspense before delivering its stunning revelation. The train ride to Christ the Redeemer climbs through layers of forest and cloud, each elevation change offering new perspectives on the statue and the city below. These approaches weren't accidental, but were designed to create emotional journeys that prepare visitors for what awaits. The builders understood that anticipation enhances appreciation, that the mind needs time to adjust to extraordinary sights. They created sequences of experiences rather than simple destinations. The seasonal changes at each wonder add another layer of discovery for repeat visitors. The Great Wall appears dramatically different when snow transforms its harsh stone lines into gentle curves. Petra's colors shift subtly as the desert climate moves through its annual cycles. Christ the Redeemer emerges from and disappears into clouds, depending on weather patterns that change throughout the year. Machu Picchu's cloud forest setting means that no two visits are exactly alike, as mist and sunshine create ever-changing combinations of revelation and mystery. The Colosseum's botanical residents bloom and fade according to Roman seasons, creating a constantly evolving natural gallery within the ancient arena. Chichen Itza's jungle setting pulses with life that follows rhythms established long before the Maya built their ceremonial centers. The Taj Mahal perhaps shows the most dramatic seasonal variations, as monsoon rains and dry seasons affect not just the gardens, but the way light interacts with the marble itself. Each season reveals different aspects of the building's personality, from the fresh green growth of spring to the golden light of autumn afternoons. These seasonal rhythms remind us that the wonders weren't built to be static museum pieces, but living parts of landscapes that change and evolve. They were designed to be experienced as part of natural cycles, to be seen and felt differently as human moods and circumstances change with the passing of time. The acoustic environments of the wonders create natural sound therapy that visitors often experience without conscious awareness. The Great Wall's exposure to wind creates a constant, gentle white noise that masks harsh, modern sounds and promotes relaxation. Petra's sandstone absorbs and softens sound, creating an environment where even whispers carry weight and significance. Christ the Redeemer's mountain location provides natural sound isolation, with city noises filtered through distance and elevation into something more like a distant ocean than urban chaos. Machu Picchu's altitude and stone construction create acoustic properties that make every sound feel deliberate and meaningful. The Colosseum's bowl shape naturally amplifies certain frequencies while dampening others, creating an acoustic environment that seems designed for contemplation rather than spectacle. Chichen Itza's various structures each contribute different acoustic elements, from the echo-creating ball court to the wind instrument properties of certain architectural features. The Taj Mahal's acoustic design creates what amounts to a natural recording studio, where sounds are enhanced and clarified rather than distorted. The dome's shape and the marble's properties work together to create an environment where human voices sound more beautiful, where whispers carry emotional weight, where silence itself becomes profound. These acoustic properties weren't accidents, but deliberate design choices by builders who understood that human beings respond to sound environments in predictable ways. They created spaces where the quality of sound itself promotes the emotional states appropriate to each location, whether contemplation, wonder, reverence, or peace. The lighting conditions at each wonder have been carefully considered, not just for practical visibility, but for emotional impact. The Great Wall's watchtowers are positioned to catch first light each morning, creating daily moments of illumination that have inspired visitors for centuries. Petra's narrow canyon entrance creates dramatic contrasts between shadow and light that make the treasury's appearance genuinely shocking in its beauty. Christ the Redeemer's position and orientation ensure that the statue appears to glow at certain times of day, creating natural halos and auras that enhance its spiritual significance. Machu Picchu's buildings are positioned to interact with seasonal sun angles, creating shadow patterns and light effects that change throughout the year in meaningful ways. The Colosseum's arches and openings create constantly shifting patterns of light and shadow that move across the arena floor like a slow, ancient dance. Chichen Itza's pyramid demonstrates the ultimate integration of architecture and astronomy, with its famous shadow serpent appearing only during equinox conditions. The Taj Mahal represents perhaps the most sophisticated understanding of light in architecture, with different surfaces and angles designed to interact with natural illumination throughout the day and across seasons. The building literally changes personality as light conditions shift, appearing sometimes ethereal and otherworldly, sometimes solid and eternal. These lighting effects create what designers call temporal landmarks, specific moments when the interaction of architecture and natural light creates experiences that visitors remember for decades. They're natural scheduling systems that encourage people to return at different times to witness different aspects of each wonder's character. The preservation philosophy at each site recognizes that these places must remain accessible to future generations while being protected from the wear of constant visitation. This balance requires careful management of both the physical structures and the visitor experience, ensuring that the qualities that make these places wonderful aren't diminished by the very popularity they inspire. Modern conservation techniques focus on understanding and working with the natural processes that have shaped these sites over centuries. Rather than fighting against weathering and aging, conservators try to guide these processes in directions that preserve essential characteristics while allowing natural evolution to continue. This approach recognizes that the wonders have survived not by being protected from time, but by being built to age gracefully. The patina on bronze, the weathering of stone, the growth of plants in appropriate places, all contribute to the character that makes these sites more than just impressive constructions. The human element remains central to each wonder's continuing story. These places exist not as monuments to the past, but as living parts of contemporary communities. Local people continue to find meaning, employment, and identity in their relationships with these ancient achievements. The guides who share these places with visitors aren't just sources of information, but storytellers who help bridge the gap between past and present. Their knowledge comes not just from books, but from daily interaction with the sites, from observing how different weather conditions affect the structures, how different seasons reveal new details, how different types of visitors respond to various aspects of each wonder. These human guardians ensure that each wonder continues to fulfill its original purpose of inspiring and uplifting the human spirit. They help maintain the delicate balance between accessibility and preservation, between sharing and protecting, between celebrating the past and nurturing the future. As night falls around the world's 7 wonders, each settles into its own rhythm of rest and renewal. Security guards walk ancient pathways with flashlights, their footsteps echoing the same routes walked by countless generations of caretakers. Automated systems monitor temperature and humidity, ensuring that tomorrow's visitors will find these treasures preserved and welcoming. The Great Wall stretches through darkness, its watchtowers silhouetted against star-filled skies that guided ancient travelers. Petra's rose-red cliffs hold the day's warmth through cool desert nights, ready to glow again with dawn's first light. Christ the Redeemer watches over Rio's twinkling lights, arms forever outstretched in blessing and protection. Machu Picchu disappears into cloud forest mists that wrap the ancient stones like blankets, while condors roost on cliff faces that have sheltered them for millennia. The Colosseum's cats find warm spots among stones that have absorbed centuries of Mediterranean sunshine, while night-blooming flowers release fragrances that mingle with the scent of ancient marble. Chichen Itza settles into jungle rhythms as nocturnal creatures emerge to explore pathways that connect pyramid to cenote to ball court. The Taj Mahal glows softly under moonlight, its marble surfaces cool and smooth to the touch of night breezes that carry the scent of jasmine from surrounding gardens. These nightly cycles of rest and renewal ensure that each wonder awakens refreshed, ready to inspire new generations of visitors who arrive seeking beauty, meaning, and connection to the best of human achievement. In their patient endurance, these 7 wonders offer us a gift more precious than their individual magnificence. They remind us that humans are capable of creating things that outlast our brief lives, things that speak across centuries of our highest aspirations and deepest longings. They stand as proof that beauty matters, that taking time to create something perfect is worthwhile, that the human spirit can transform stone and earth and dreams into monuments that comfort and inspire long after their builders have returned to dust. In their presence, we remember what we're capable of when we work not just for immediate needs, but for distant generations who will inherit what we leave behind. Tonight, as you rest in the shadow of these ancient achievements, let their stories settle into your dreams like seeds planted in fertile ground. The Great Wall continues its patient march across mountains that have watched civilizations rise and fall, its stones holding the warmth of countless sunsets. In the darkness between watchtowers, small night creatures make their homes in crevices that once sheltered human guards, creating new communities within the old. The wall's builders understood something we often forget in our hurried modern lives. They knew that the most important work happens slowly, stone by stone, day by day, generation by generation. They measured progress not in quarterly reports, but in decades, building something that would serve great-grandchildren they would never meet. This patience, this long view of time, seems almost magical in our instant world. Archaeological teams working along the wall move with this same deliberate care. They use soft brushes to reveal pottery fragments that still hold the fingerprints of ancient craftsmen. Each shard tells a story of daily life, of meals shared between workers who understood they were part of something larger than themselves. Rice bowls, wine vessels, simple tools, all emerging from earth that has held them safely for centuries. The wall changes personality with each season in ways its builders surely anticipated. Spring rains fill ancient drainage channels that still work perfectly, carrying water away from the stone foundations just as engineers planned. 1,000 years ago, summer thunderstorms create dramatic lighting effects as bolts illuminate the serpentine structure winding through mountain passes. Autumn brings morning fogs that cling to valleys, making sections of wall appear to float above clouds, like bridges between earth and heaven. Winter transforms the wall into something from a fairy tale. Snow softens every harsh angle, creating graceful curves where once stood rigid battlements. Ice forms delicate sculptures in the watchtower windows, and the silence becomes so complete that visitors report hearing their own heartbeats echoing off the ancient stones. The wall in winter becomes a meditation on endurance, on the beauty that emerges when human creation weathers time with dignity. Local farmers whose families have lived in the wall's shadow for generations speak of it as a neighbor rather than a monument. Children learn to walk on paths that parallel its course, and elderly residents time their evening strolls by the way sunset light strikes familiar watchtowers. The wall has become woven into the fabric of daily life, no longer a barrier, but a companion that marks the rhythm of seasons and days. In Petra, the night brings different magic. Desert silence fills the carved chambers with a quiet so profound it seems to have weight and texture. The temperature drops quickly after sunset, but the sandstone continues to radiate warmth absorbed during daylight hours, creating microclimates where small desert plants thrive in carved niches that once held oil lamps. The Nabateans who carved this city understood the desert's dual nature, its harsh days and gentle nights. They positioned their most important buildings to capture morning light while providing afternoon shade, creating spaces that remain comfortable throughout the day's temperature swings. The treasury's facade faces east, greeting each dawn with rose-colored stone that seems to glow from within as the first rays strike its carved columns. Recent discoveries have revealed that Petra was far more extensive than previously known. Ground-penetrating radar has located entire neighborhoods still buried beneath centuries of sand and debris. These hidden structures await excavation by teams who work with the same patience as the original builders, understanding that rushing could destroy irreplaceable evidence of how people actually lived in this carved city. The water system that supplied ancient Petra continues to amaze engineers who study its elegant simplicity. Channels carved into cliff faces follow gradients calculated to maintain steady flow without erosion. Settling tanks remove sediment, while underground cisterns keep water cool and clean. Modern cities could learn from these ancient water managers who understood that working with natural forces creates more durable solutions than fighting against them. The acoustic properties of Petra's carved spaces create natural sound-healing environments. The treasury's interior chamber produces subtle echoes that seem to slow breathing and heart rate. Whispered conversations in one carved room can sometimes be heard in chambers dozens of yards away, connected by channels that ancient engineers carved to carry both air and sound. These acoustic effects weren't accidental, but deliberate design choices by builders who understood that architecture should serve the human spirit as well as human needs. Christ the Redeemer continues to gather clouds around its shoulders like a gentle giant wrapping itself in soft blankets. The statue's position at the peak of Corcovado Mountain creates its own weather patterns. Warm air rising from the city below meets cooler mountain air, forming mists that often obscure the statue's base while leaving its head and outstretched arms visible above the clouds. This meteorological phenomenon creates what locals call the statue's moods. On clear days, Christ the Redeemer appears solid and permanent against blue sky. During storms, lightning illuminates the figure dramatically, creating moments of awe that visitors remember for decades. But perhaps most moving are the misty days when only the statue's arms emerge from clouds, appearing to embrace not just the city, but the sky itself. The small chapel at the statue's base hosts quiet ceremonies that have nothing to do with tourism and everything to do with faith and community. Local families come to mark important moments, couples to exchange vows, individuals seeking solace in times of difficulty. The space remains intimate despite the monument's massive scale, creating a sense of protection and peace that visitors from every background seem to recognize and respect. Maintenance work on the statue requires specially trained technicians who must be comfortable working at extreme heights in constantly changing weather conditions. These workers often describe their job as more meditation than labor. Suspended from the statue's arms, surrounded by sky and silence, they report experiencing a profound sense of connection to something larger than themselves. The work requires patience and precision, qualities that seem to be enhanced by the statue's peaceful presence. The view from the statue encompasses not just Rio's famous beaches and mountains, but countless neighborhoods where daily life unfolds in patterns that connect the monument to the living city below. Christ the Redeemer watches over morning commutes and evening soccer games, over family celebrations and quiet moments of solitude. The statue serves as a constant reminder that some things endure while others change, providing continuity in lives marked by constant motion. Machu Picchu's astronomical alignments continue to function with clockwork precision after 5 centuries of abandonment. The Intihuatana stone still tracks the sun's movement through seasons, casting shadows that mark important dates in the agricultural calendar. At the summer solstice, the sun sits directly above this carved pillar at noon, creating a moment of perfect alignment that draws visitors from around the world to witness this ancient timepiece in action. The terraces that step down the mountainside demonstrate agricultural techniques that modern permaculture experts study and attempt to replicate. Each level creates its own microclimate, with different orientations receiving varying amounts of sunlight and moisture. The Inca farmers who designed this system understood that diversity strengthens resilience, that multiple approaches to the same challenge create better outcomes than single solutions. The llamas that now graze among the ruins provide more than just photogenic charm for visitors. Their grazing patterns help maintain the site by keeping grass at optimal heights for both structural preservation and visual appeal. These animals follow paths that connect different areas of the complex, their daily routines creating a living map of how the site functions as an integrated whole. The cloud forest that surrounds Machu Picchu hosts an incredible diversity of life that changes with altitude and season. Orchids bloom in hidden corners where ancient walls create protected microclimates. More than 400 bird species call this area home, their songs providing a natural soundtrack that changes throughout the day as different species become active. The morning ritual at Machu Picchu follows patterns established by geography and light. As sunrise illuminates the eastern peaks, mist begins to rise from the valleys below. The ancient buildings emerge gradually from this natural veil, appearing piece by piece, as if being slowly revealed by invisible hands. Visitors who arrive early enough to witness this daily unveiling often describe it as a spiritual experience that connects them to the site's original inhabitants. Research continues to reveal new aspects of Machu Picchu's sophisticated design. Recent studies have shown that the site's drainage system still functions perfectly, channeling rainwater away from structures and preventing erosion. The engineering required to create stable foundations on steep mountain slopes while maintaining perfect drainage represents a level of technical achievement that modern builders study and admire. The Colosseum's transformation from arena to ecosystem demonstrates nature's gentle power to heal and transform even the most violent human creations. The diverse plant life that now thrives within its walls includes species from across the Mediterranean, seeds carried by wind, birds, and centuries of human visitors. This accidental garden has become more biodiverse than many intentional nature preserves. The cats that call the Colosseum home have developed social structures that seem to mirror the ancient hierarchies once played out in the arena below. Older, more established cats claim the prime sunny spots in the upper tiers, while younger animals explore the shadowy corridors and hidden chambers. Local volunteers who care for these feline residents report that each generation seems to inherit an understanding of the site's significance, displaying behavior that visitors invariably describe as dignified and appropriate conservation work at the Colosseum proceeds with extraordinary care and patience. Stonemasons still shape replacement blocks using traditional hand tools, creating pieces that will weather and age in harmony with the original construction. The sound of chisel striking stone echoes through the ancient corridors just as it did 2 millennia ago, creating an acoustic continuity that connects past and present through the simple rhythm of skilled craftwork. The underground areas of the Colosseum, once used to house gladiators and stage elaborate spectacles, now provide cool refuges where visitors can escape summer heat and contemplate the site's complex history. These spaces, stripped of their associations with violence and entertainment, have become galleries where the interplay of ancient architecture and natural reclamation creates cathedral-like atmospheres of peace and reflection. Evening visits to the Colosseum reveal aspects of its character invisible during busy daylight hours. As crowds thin and harsh sunlight softens, the arena fills with golden light that makes the travertine stones glow warmly. The resident plants release subtle fragrances. Cats emerge for their evening activities, and the entire structure seems to exhale the heat and energy of the day, settling into tranquil rhythms that connect it to the living city beyond its walls. Chichen Itza's integration with the surrounding jungle creates a natural sanctuary where ancient human achievement and timeless natural processes exist in perfect harmony. The cecropia trees that now shade Maya buildings weren't planted by landscape architects, but grew from seeds carried by wind and animals, creating natural partnerships between human construction and forest ecology. The cenote that provided fresh water to ancient residents continues to serve as a focal point for both wildlife and spiritual practice. The clear blue water reflects sky and clouds like a mirror set into the earth, creating optical effects that seem to connect the terrestrial world with celestial realms above. Modern visitors often report feeling a profound sense of peace when gazing into these natural wells, as if the water itself holds memories of countless prayers and ceremonies. The ball court's acoustic properties create what amounts to a natural sound therapy environment. The specific frequencies that resonate within this space have been shown to have measurable calming effects on human nervous systems. Players of the ancient ball game may have experienced not just physical competition, but acoustic healing. The rhythmic bouncing of rubber balls creating sound patterns that synchronized with natural biological rhythms. The pyramid's famous equinox shadow display demonstrates Maya understanding of astronomy and human psychology. They knew that witnessing celestial events creates emotional responses that transcend cultural boundaries, connecting observers to cosmic rhythms that dwarf daily concerns. Modern visitors who experience the shadow serpent phenomenon often describe it as deeply moving, a reminder that humans have always looked to sky and stone for meaning and guidance. The jungle setting provides constant reminders of the relationship between human achievement and natural forces that shaped Maya civilization. Howler monkeys call from the canopy at dawn and dusk, their voices carrying for miles through forest that has reclaimed much of what the Maya built. Butterflies, including species considered sacred by ancient residents, still flutter among carved stone flowers and geometric patterns that decorate the surviving buildings. The Taj Mahal's ability to appear different to each visitor stems from more than just change in light conditions. The marble's unique properties create optical effects that respond to the observer's position, movement, and even emotional state. The building seems to interact with those who view it, appearing more vibrant to some visitors and more ethereal to others, as if the structure itself possesses some form of empathetic awareness. The garden's design follows principles that create natural stress reduction for visitors. The symmetrical layout provides visual harmony that the human brain processes as inherently calming. Water features throughout the complex create negative ions in the air, which have documented effects on mood and mental clarity. The combination of visual beauty, acoustic harmony, and atmospheric chemistry creates an environment that naturally promotes peaceful states of mind. The craftspeople who built the Taj Mahal worked with a dedication that bordered on spiritual practice. Each piece of inlay work represents hours of meditation-like focus, with artisans studying individual stones until they understood exactly how each piece should fit into the larger pattern. This level of attention created not just beautiful decoration, but a kind of prayer in stone. Devotion made visible in perfect proportions and flawless execution. The building's reflection in its famous pool creates one of architecture's most perfect mirror images. But this reflection often appears more vivid and dreamlike than the original structure. The water's surface acts as a natural filter, softening harsh details while emphasizing the building's essential grace. Children frequently become mesmerized by this upside-down palace, watching ripples transform solid marble into something that appears to dance and flow like fabric in a gentle breeze. The interior chamber where the actual tombs rest maintains an atmosphere of intimacy despite the monument's grand scale. Light filters through marble screens carved so delicately, they appear to be made of lace rather than stone. The acoustics create what amounts to a natural meditation environment, where whispers become musical and silence itself takes on profound weight and meaning. Conservation efforts at the Taj Mahal focus not just on preserving the physical structure, but on maintaining its ability to inspire wonder and devotion. The same gentle cleaning techniques used for centuries continue today, ensuring that sunrise and sunset will continue to transform the marble into something that appears to glow with inner light. What unites all 7 wonders beyond their individual magnificence is their shared ability to create what psychologists call transformative experiences. These aren't just impressive buildings or remarkable engineering achievements, but environments specifically designed to elevate human consciousness and connect visitors to their highest aspirations. Each wonder creates its own form of temporal sanctuary, a space where normal time seems suspended and deeper rhythms take precedence. The hurried pace of modern life naturally slows in their presence, replaced by more contemplative states that allow for genuine appreciation and reflection. These sites share another quality that's become increasingly precious in our interconnected world. They offer genuine silence, or at least the kind of meaningful quiet where natural sounds like wind and water and birdsong can be heard clearly. This acoustic environment allows for internal dialogue and personal reflection that's difficult to achieve in environments filled with mechanical noise and electronic distractions. The communities that have grown up around each wonder include not just local residents, but international networks of scholars, artists, and spiritual seekers who return repeatedly to deepen their understanding and connection. These informal communities create support systems for the sites that extend far beyond official preservation efforts. The craftspeople who maintain these monuments often come from families who've been involved with the sites for generations. They possess knowledge that can't be learned from textbooks, but must be absorbed through years of patient observation and hands-on practice. Their understanding includes subtle details like how different types of stone respond to seasonal temperature changes, how ancient mortars behave under various weather conditions, how traditional tools create different effects than modern ones. These human guardians ensure that maintenance and restoration work proceeds with appropriate reverence and understanding. They serve as bridges between ancient techniques and contemporary needs, helping to preserve not just physical structures, but the cultural knowledge and spiritual understanding that originally shaped these places. The visitor experience at each wonder typically unfolds in predictable stages that reflect deep patterns in human psychology. Initial excitement gives way to careful observation as people try to take in details they've seen in photographs. But the most meaningful stage often comes later, when the novelty settles and visitors begin to simply be present with the wonder itself. This stage of quiet presence is when the real magic occurs. It's when people stop trying to capture everything with cameras and start allowing the place to speak to them directly. They find comfortable spots to sit and let their minds settle into rhythms that match the site's ancient pace. Many visitors describe this experience as feeling like a conversation with the past, as if the builders and craftsmen who created these places remain present in some way, sharing their understanding of beauty, proportion, and the human need for environments that inspire and uplift. The wonders also serve as natural gathering places where people from vastly different backgrounds find common ground in shared appreciation for human achievement and natural beauty. Language barriers seem less significant when everyone is looking at the same breathtaking view or experiencing the same profound silence. These shared moments of wonder create temporary communities that often extend beyond the visit itself. Strangers smile at each other, families share viewing spots, and elderly visitors offer their knowledge to younger travelers, all united by recognition that they're witnessing something extraordinary. The mathematical principles underlying each wonder's design tap into patterns that human beings seem hardwired to find beautiful and calming proportions based on natural relationships like the golden ratio create visual harmony that the brain processes as inherently pleasant, even when observers can't consciously identify what makes the structures so appealing. This explains why these ancient achievements continue to move contemporary visitors despite vast differences in cultural background and historical context. The builders understood something universal about human nature and created environments that speak directly to fundamental aspects of psychology and emotion that transcend time and culture. The seasonal changes at each wonder add layers of discovery for visitors who return at different times of year. Each season reveals different aspects of character and beauty, ensuring that no two visits are exactly alike. This seasonal variation was clearly understood and planned by the original builders, who designed their creations to age gracefully and change meaningfully with natural cycles. The acoustic environments created by each wonder provide natural sound therapy that visitors often experience unconsciously. The specific ways that different structures interact with wind, water, and human voices create atmospheric conditions that promote relaxation, contemplation, and the kind of mental clarity that allows for genuine appreciation of beauty and meaning. The lighting conditions at each site have been carefully considered not just for practical visibility, but for emotional impact. The interaction between architectural forms and natural illumination creates temporal landmarks, specific moments when the combination of structure and light produces experiences that visitors remember for decades. These lighting effects serve as natural scheduling systems that encourage people to experience each wonder at different times of day and season, revealing the full range of character and beauty that the builders incorporated into their designs. The preservation philosophy at each site recognizes that these places must remain accessible to future generations while being protected from damage caused by well-meaning but overwhelming visitation. This delicate balance requires careful management that honors both the site's historical significance and their continuing role as sources of inspiration and wonder. Modern conservation techniques focus on understanding and supporting the natural processes that have allowed these structures to survive for centuries or millennia. Rather than fighting against aging and weathering, conservators work to guide these processes in directions that preserve essential characteristics while allowing natural evolution to continue. As our journey through these 7 wonders draws toward its gentle conclusion, let their stories settle into your consciousness, like layers of sediment forming peaceful strata in your memory. Each wonder we visited tonight carries its own rhythm, its own way of breathing with time and weather and the endless parade of human visitors who arrive seeking beauty, meaning, and connection. The Great Wall continues its patient march across mountains that will outlive us all, its stones holding warmth and memory in equal measure. Petra's rose-red chambers whisper stories in languages carved from living rock. Christ the Redeemer maintains his eternal vigil over a city that sleeps and wakes beneath outstretched arms of blessing. Machu Picchu dreams among clouds that part and gather like thoughts forming and dissolving in the mind of the mountain itself. The Colosseum breathes with new life, growing in spaces once dedicated to spectacle, proving that time heals all wounds and transforms all purposes. Chichen Itza marks celestial time with shadows that dance across stones worn smooth by countless seasons. The Taj Mahal glows softly in moonlight that turns marble into something more precious than any earthly material, a testament to love that transcends death and time and the limitations of human understanding. These 7 wonders stand not as monuments to human ambition, but as proof of human possibility. They remind us that we are capable of creating beauty that outlasts our individual lives, structures that speak across centuries of our highest hopes and deepest longings. They demonstrate that patience and dedication can transform stone and earth and dreams into realities that comfort and inspire long after their creators have returned to dust. In their presence, whether physical or imagined, we remember what we're capable of when we work not just for immediate needs, but for distant generations who will inherit what we leave behind. They teach us that true achievement measures itself not in years, but in centuries, not in profit, but in wonder, not in conquest, but in the gentle victory of beauty over chaos. Tonight, as sleep begins to claim your thoughts and your breathing settles into deeper rhythms, carry with you the peace these ancient achievements offer. Let their stories become part of your dreams, their patience a model for your own journey through time, their beauty a reminder that the human spirit, when guided by love and dedication and respect for something greater than itself, can create miracles that endure. Rest now in the knowledge that somewhere in the world, moonlight is striking ancient stones with the same gentle radiance that has blessed these places for centuries. Tomorrow's sunrise will illuminate these wonders once again, ready to inspire new generations of visitors who arrive seeking exactly what you found tonight: peace in the presence of human achievement at its most graceful and enduring. Sleep well, knowing that beauty persists, that patience pays dividends across generations, and that the best of human nature finds its expression in creations designed not to dominate but to uplift, not to intimidate but to inspire, not to separate but to unite all who encounter them in shared wonder at what becomes possible when human hands and hearts work together towards something magnificent and lasting. In this quiet hour when the world grows still, these 7 wonders offer us their final gift, not the spectacle of their fame or the achievement of their construction, but something deeper and more personal. They remind us that we too are builders, each day adding stones to the structures of our own lives, choices that will echo forward through time in ways we may never fully understand. The patience of those ancient craftsmen speaks across centuries to our hurried hearts. They understood that the most meaningful work happens slowly, with attention to details that others might never notice. A single stone fitted perfectly into place. A carving completed with love rather than haste. Water channels designed to function for millennia, not just decades. These builders worked for people they would never meet, creating beauty for eyes that had not yet opened, constructing shelters for hearts not yet beating. They measured success not in immediate recognition, but in the quiet satisfaction of work done with integrity and care. They built for the long view, for the endless succession of tomorrows that would need inspiration and wonder. As we reach the end of our gentle journey tonight, let these 7 wonders settle into your dreams like whispered lullabies from across the centuries. We've walked together through rice-strengthened walls and rose-colored canyons, stood in the shadow of welcoming arms, and witnessed marble that dances with light itself. Each wonder carries forward its own quiet promise that beauty endures, that human hands, guided by patience and love, can create something that transcends time itself. So rest now, knowing that somewhere in the world, these ancient achievements continue their silent watch, ready to inspire tomorrow's dreamers just as they've inspired you tonight. Sleep well, and thank you for dreaming with us.